Okay, so now we're talking about from the new moon. If you choose to, there's the waxing quarter for you to observe if you would like to do that. I find for the waxing quarter of the moon, it's much more for me about just observing where I am and how I'm doing with growing what it is that I want to create. So this isn't a time that I really focus on ritual revolving around the moon. Instead, it's more just an awareness of my body and an awareness of what I'm choosing to create as the month is going on. So that's what I'm doing during the waxing period. And there are lots of great videos, lots of great blogs about observing the waxing moon. So just do some research and you'll find that the waxing moon might be something that you want to bring in. But I'm going to talk about the full moon in this video because once I interact with the maiden energy of the new moon, then I'm stepping into the full moon's energy. Now there are a few goddesses that I love to interact with for this energy. One of those being Venus. And I also love to interact with Selene. And I also interact with Isis. And sometimes I'll call Inanna in during the full moon. So this is all about the full moon, all about, to me, celebration, joy of our femininity, of our female body. This is about the time of mother in the Trinity, the pagan Trinity, for lack of a better phrase. So this is all about the mother space. So this is really about the fullness, the ripeness, the lushness of life. It's the Empress card. We know that there is a tremendous amount of beauty that surrounds us. It's time to celebrate that. It's time to dance. It's time to just feel joy for our experience and to love our bodies and the experience of sacred union as well. So the full moon is extremely powerful energetically, and it's really about, to me, joy, pleasure, love, everything that you think of when you think of the term motherhood in its more joyful ways. So that's really the focus for me with that. Stepping into that feeling of joy, expansion, pleasure, and I'm really celebrating. So I'm dancing. That means that I'm dancing, even if it's just for a few moments in the kitchen with Vincent on the time of the full moon. I'm really stepping into dancing, feeling joy in the body, moving the body, expressing that way. I'm also aware of just what it is that I have created and honoring what I've created over the last moon cycle. And honoring it for whatever it may be. Maybe it's been a difficult month and I've gotten off track and I am having a tendency to be hard on myself. With the full moon, I'm letting go of that and I'm just honoring where I've been. It's the harvest. So I am looking at everything that it is that I've created. I'm watching it grow. And just being in a space of acceptance and love with that. Okay, and not needing to change anything, but just trusting that everything will flow the way it needs to because I've set a clear intention, and allowing myself to feel some joy. So if you're someone who's a perfectionist, you don't ever stop, you always think you could be doing better, you're always feeling that you're missing the mark, the full moon is a call for you to stop that cycle for yourself and just celebrate. For some women, their bodies are naturally ovulating during this time. So this is a sensual time. It is a time of fully enjoying and appreciating the physical form, being very comfortable in our bodies, and realizing the beauty of our bodies, whatever they look like, whether they fit the norm, not norm, but the ideal of our time period or not. This is about celebrating your body as it is. So this is about being comfortable in your form, not needing clothing, obviously being respectful of others, and making sure that if privacy is called for, you're being private about that, but just enjoying your physical form without needing to cover it up and perfect it and make it into something that it's not, just celebrating your body. So the full moon is a time of joy, celebration, expansion. And that's what my focus is with my ritual work, with my meditations. It's going to be something fun. I'm going to enjoy any type of meditation that I do, any type of ritual working that I'm doing. I really like to work with candle magic on the full moon, and my rituals are not as usually, like in depth and focused. It's much more flowy, it's simple, it feels good, and it's more about just being joyful. Now, you might also find that during the full moon, this is a time when your emotions are bubbling up and pouring over. So this means that it's also a time to be very honest about where you are and express your emotions. This, again, similar to the new moon, is a time when we are in the world. We're in the experience outwardly as well as inwardly. So it is a time for honest, clear communication. Being aware of our emotions, and if they are, if we're honoring them, or if we're kind of blazing through everyone else and just needing to be extremely focused on our own emotions at that time. And if we are, then it's good to honor other people's experience as well as our own, and maybe it does mean that we need an evening to ourselves to just honor the full moon. But it's very much being aware, honest, honoring our emotions, our feelings, and being very joyful about our experience. That's what the full moon is for me. Now, for a lot of people, the waxing moon to the full moon is really the time for magical workings, rituals that are about creating what we want. So if you're looking for a new job, the job of your dreams, this is the time up to the full moon and the full moon, when you're doing any magical workings that you want to about creating that. If you want to experience more harmony in the home, this is the time when you're doing any type of magical workings to create that. So it's really about magical workings focused on what you want to bring in with the new moon, but now we're stepping into actually experiencing them. So from the end of the full moon into the waning moon to the dark moon, we're not doing magic for the most part about what we want to bring in, because this is about release. Whereas here it's about creation. Now we're in the yin phase, which is about release. It's that letting go. Whereas here, new moon to full moon, it's about bringing it in. It's about creation. It's about action. So we're still in that state of action. We're feeling energetic. We're in the outward experience as well as the inward experience. We're feeling the joy and the pleasure of being in our bodies. And we're celebrating. Hopefully you're dancing. Dancing during the full moon is just a beautiful practice. So that's a real focus with the full moon energy. And that's my focus in my workings during the full moon. So hopefully this is helpful for you if you're starting to follow the full moon phase, and as well as the moon cycles themselves. And hopefully this is giving you a jumping off point for that with the full moon. So thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next video.